Let's let the voice lead the podcast today, not the eyes.
Jesus Christ.
Is he blanked out?
I think Gary's having some kind
He's
of
glossing
mental
over.
episode.
He had a bang and a
I saw Fast
You
9 just
don't.
now.
Will you ever be the same again?
I think it's over for all of us.
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
Hello, welcome to the show. I am Scott,
And I'm Joe.
and we are just another movie night, and this is Talkin' Furious. We've made it. Here we are in 2021's Fast 9.
No,
Justin Lin returns.
I didn't get to do my Talking Furious.
Sorry.
There it is.
Did you do it?
Yes.
Did you get it in?
I'm redeemed. Hold on. Wait. Talking Furious.
There it is.
Okay.
Justin Lin returns as director, but Chris Morgan, the writer, is out. This movie's gone through so many different stages of problems. We got COVID knocking it back. We have Hobbs and Shaw, that was more important, kicked it out. And The Rock was supposed to be in this movie, and he stepped away and did his own movie and said, fuck all you. And here we are with Fast 9.
It's been a while. The roads were a little empty. Places where we used to gather went quiet. We've gone through a year that tested us. But we're starting to see the promise of a new day. For more than 100 years, there's one place where we all came together to be entertained, to escape, to go someplace new. The movies. There's nothing like that moment when the lights go down. The projector ignites. And we believe.
So we got a budget of $225 million and a box office gross of $726.2 million
Okay, so
during
that's
COVID
low.
numbers.
That's low.
Those
I
are
mean,
COVID numbers.
well, I guess it's not low if you consider
Yeah.
it's COVID.
And
Numbers.
actually, all of that money was overseas. But tonight, we have our family with us. So let's introduce everybody in. Minus one. We got Aaron.
Hello.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
We have Gary. The one, the only Gary. Gary, so glad you're here tonight. Thank you so much.
Applause. Thank you for
Every-
being here.
Yay.
You can't see me.
Gary's having some kind of
But I can
like
feel you.
episode.
Turn the lights off so we can all feel Gary.
He wants us to sit here in the dark and just
I feel
do
Gary
this
right now.
blind, only with our voices. That's what he wants.
All I asked was these heat lamps be turned off a little bit.
And hello, Jared. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, buddy. How are you?
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you so much.
been a-
Just like this franchise, I will never die.
They can knock you out.
Oh,
Come
wow.
right back in. All right, so we got a lot real quick to get through in this talking. I mean, let's face facts. This is talking trash tonight.
This is definitely talking trash. 100.
Now, you said the film budget was 250 million.
Yeah, the budget.
Now, is it true about when they say 250, that's what's advertised, and they also have that actual advertisement and marketing? Is it double?
So yeah, that's the problem with a lot of these budget things. So this one was actually between 200 and 225 million. So the 225 might be the end after advertisement, but they say that advertising is your budget times like in half. So it's always like do half of your budget and that's your advertising. And during COVID, I wonder how much that really was because people weren't going to the theater. So this was a weird one.
Did this go? How fast did it go straight to HBO?
I don't know. I really don't know how
Are
long
they-
it took.
Or was it in the theater?
Yeah, we saw it in the
We
theater.
saw it in the
Oh.
theater, yeah.
We returned for this one.
2019, you said, right?
No, 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right when the movie theater started opening back up in 21.
yeah, I think
and
we were
all the
sitting there like wearing
movies.
our masks. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's try to talk this plot out. If you guys are gonna have to help me here because we jump around to so many different countries and different
my
places,
God.
and
I feel we can just stick to the main, with
Story.
Dom's storyline
Hmm.
and the main plot without having to go through each point because we're gonna keep on going forever.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm like,
It's blurry.
this is the last one before Fast X, and I was so stoked for this. And I'm really defeated right now.
Are you
I feel
really?
like we should
Yeah.
have ended, we should have gotten to Fast 9 on like a good note. I mean, Fast 9 should have been like good, because we're like almost there at Fast X. And I was stoked, and now I'm just like, deflated.
It wasn't that bad.
Well,
I can't wait to hear about it. I can't wait to hear it.
Says you. What movie were you watching?
I was watching this
Just
one.
shut up and eat your high chews.
The things were
All right,
fun.
so
They're really good, aren't they?
So you talked about starting with Dom's story. That's how the movie starts. The movie starts with a flashback. We're finally gonna see Dom's father die, which is in a NASCAR race of some sort, and everything that he said in I think Fast and the Furious 1
Yep. And number one. Yeah.
kind of comes back. But now we have a new plot point. He has a brother.
Yes, but this whole scene is not set up just to give us that, oh my gosh, here's the flashback that you've all been waiting for. No one's been waiting for this, but whatever. It's to establish that John Cena's in this movie and he's the brother. That's all it is. It's not like they even care about giving us back a flashback on his dad.
Well, this is just like really lazy writing because it's like, well, the only thing to do now is to go back and completely rewrite the history that we've already established. Mm-hmm. So when he was telling Brian the story of how we when the crash happened and the only thing
You did a good job with that.
I mean, we're getting into like Star Wars type of canon,
yes,
and now we're like, that's canon, that's not canon. That movie was not canon. That part was not canon. It's like, okay.
it's like everything's like, you remember that gray spot where we really didn't say anything about that little spot there we left open? Oh, we just slipped in some new shit, And this movie does that at least 50 times, where they're just like, yeah, sure, that's slipped in there. The guys from Tokyo Drift, they make rockets now. They can fly airplanes. What else can we just slip into this movie?
A lot of
Ridiculous,
things. The
but-
fact that Mia can like fight like an MMA boxer.
But she can't.
Well, she looked like
She's
she
hitting
was
people with ladles.
I mean,
So anyways, so Dom's father perishes in this car crash. His brother, turns out that his brother is also part of the pit crew, which Joe likes to call, what was it?
the roadies.
The roadies?
They are roadies because they're on the road.
And also, the head of the pit crew is Michael Rooker,
Rooker.
with a great Walmart truck stop hat and
yes.
fake weird
He
wig
had a
coming
mullet.
out.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful. Because it's supposed to be 1989.
And they try to de-age him, which was funny.
Did they though?
They covered him up as much as they possibly could.
Did they? I mean, he just was wearing a hat and he was just Rooker.
Yeah. But, so we get to see everything that Brian was told, except for the fact that the brother was involved. And we even see that the brother is the one who started the fight with the guy who caused the crash, that Dom had to step in and beat him with a wrench. It turns out it's all his brother's fault.
Yep.
So I guess we now jump to a farmhouse where we get to see Lifty, or, as Gary loves to say, Lifty, Letty, and Dom raising Brian, little Brian Jr.,
Oh.
who is now aged at least 2 years since
He's
the last
like-
time we saw.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah,
3
I
or
think
4.
he's-
He
about-
can talk, so it's got to be 3 or 4, right?
I'm going
Well,
to say he's
yeah.
4.
In the last time we saw him when he was a baby, he said daddy. So he was already starting
he was
to talk.
a little advanced,
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're living there. And
Out of the blue, the gang shows up.
yeah.
They get their shotguns out. They almost kill them. Tyrese gets out of the car and says, "Hey, man, I know I got a little more color and you can't tell who I am, but here I am.
Tyrese's one-liners in this movie are probably at its peak. I mean,
I will say-
I love them.
This is the worst. This is where they're starting to get meta with it, and they're realizing, wouldn't it be funny if he just realizes that he's in a movie, and this movie's going full on with Tyrese thinking he's in a movie, right? So yeah, Tyrese gets out of the car. He's with Ramsey, and he's with Tej, and they get out of the car. They tell them, well, it turns out that Mr. Nobody sent a message to them before his plane crash. Hey, whatever happened to Mr. Nobody?
Yeah,
This movie doesn't give a shit.
No.
No. So Mr. Nobody sent a message, a scrambled message, only to this group, of course. No one else can be trusted. Remember Scott Eastwood? Ah, screw that guy. He's out of this
we
too.
don't need him either.
Yeah, he's dead. Who knows? So, so the message comes through, and they tell them, well, at least this is what they gather. They only got this message from him, and that someone is attacking their plane, and they're going to steal a secret device. And they sent it specifically to this group to solve it. Well, everybody's like, hey, we see that it's Cypher. This is the woman who killed your baby mama. For some reason, they have to tell him that. Oh, by the way, you don't care, Dom? Dom's like, hey, look, I'm living on a farm with my kid now. I don't give a shit. And he's like, this is the man that killed your baby mama. Get revenge,
He's just like, oh, we don't do that no more.
Yeah. And so Letty's like, you know what, though? I do like getting revenge. And I'm going to go with this guy. So I'm going to go help them. Which makes Dom also join in. Because he sees on the message that the person who grabs Mr. Nobody has a crucifix that looks just like his.
No.
Oh my God. That could only be one crucifix in the whole world that could have that same crucifix.
Yep. It's gotta be.
I wonder who it could be.
Gotta be Jacob.
Well, yeah, we cut to a foreign country where the gang is all in their little cars. Mm-hmm. They have all chosen a car to match their personalities. We got Letty on a motorcycle, Dom in a... And now they're on a jagged rock-covered road, and of course that means he brought what kind of car?
Nice little street car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it just.
It's the most impractical.
What color was it, at least? Tell
Black.
us that.
Black.
It's gotta be black.
Yeah,
right?
it's got to be black because this is Dom when he's grieving. He's in mode where he's thinking something, so he's wearing black tees and he's wearing black cars.
When he wears black, he's brooding.
He's brooding.
Yeah.
That it's so fucking insane. I want to know if that was him or someone actually in the costume room was like holding up two things. Okay, are you in good Dom mode or bad Dom mode? Black or white? Black or white?
I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as there's no
Well, the
sleeves.
black takes in the heat. It absorbs everything.
Oh.
He's wearing a leather jacket through
not,
most of this
he's
movie.
not at peace.
In
No,
the
he's
heat.
always wearing the tees. He's
He
always
has his leather jacket on at one point.
Does he?
Yeah, remember he whips out the postcard that he got from Han.
Oh,
remember?
that's true.
It was a little chilly in that scene.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah.
So, Letty's on a motorcycle. Dom is in his car. And the rest of the group are in actual vehicles that actually seem like they would be the right ones to gather for this mission.
I mean, like Tyrese and Luda are in a tank or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no,
Isn't
only
he-
Tyrese
Oh,
is in
Tyrese is only in the tank?
Yeah, Tej and Ramsey are in an off-roading Jeep of some sort.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the new Jeeps or whatever the
But
truck.
you know what's the funny thing is? It doesn't even matter what vehicles they're in. They go through a freaking landmine field and don't get blown up at all. The landmines don't blow up in front of them when the first tires hit, but the back of the cars.
Before that happens, though, they find the down plane of Mr. Nobody, and of course, there's no bodies. Somehow, all the bodies either disappeared, were stolen. Who knows? We're never going to talk
that
about it
wreckage
again.
was pretty bad, so maybe they
Yeah.
got
Except
disintegrated.
the wreckage is perfect enough to keep the box that Ramses knows how to hack into.
Oh yeah.
And she finds half of the Epcot globe, right? The Epcot globe is just sitting in there. It's like a black half of it. It's like a cantaloupe, like cut in half, and that's something very important. So right at that moment, they get attacked by about 50 Jeeps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
I hear it going off the Aries.
Oh my goodness.
so is it called? Yeah, Project
That was
Aries.
the
I think that's
signal.
what we're told, right?
Yes.
All these Jeeps show up, and that everybody splits up in the cars, but Tyrese is chased and has a gunfight where he jumps into like basically ruins of an old, some kind of old. I don't know what the hell is what they're at fighting.
I thought it was a building or something that
Yeah.
fell apart, but he just jumps right in the middle of this thing, kind of spinning around. What like
He picks up a
Matrix
machine
style?
gun, yeah.
It picks up a machine gun and just shoots everybody with like what 5 bullets?
Yes,
Yeah.
he says he kills about 30 people here.
What's impressive to me, and I said this to you guys, is the fact of the evolution of this gang of misfits.
Yeah, even
Like
he
they
knows it.
literally started out owning a tuna shop, driving just shitty street races with their buddies.
What were they stealing?
DVD players,
VCRs.
VHS recorders.
VHS recorders,
Oh, yeah,
DVD,
that.
Blu-rays.
They were dual VCRs,
Oh, those,
DVD players.
that's
I
big
stand corrected.
money right
That's how they got
there.
all their money.
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
now are wielding machine guns, driving tanks, like literally
They're in foreign,
just
some kind of foreign airspace. They've gotten here. They've had all these specific cars brought in. We don't know how that even happened. They're just all there. Well, they go on the run, and that's when they get into the minefields because they're getting chased. And the only decision they have is to go through a minefield. And they have to figure out, well, how fast do we have to go to get through a minefield? So they say, I don't know, 80 miles an hour? So now remember this, Letty's on a fucking motorcycle, right? And Tyrese is in a tank.
that
And he's
only
like,
goes
I can only go 70.
Yeah,
So naturally, everybody's just fine.
they're fine.
Yeah.
But they're also being stalked by what we see is John Cena, who has the cross. So John Cena, and they keep showing this cross. He like actually has it over his shoulder at one shot, like right in the shot.
They just think that the audience is stupid. It's like, come on, man. We
Oh.
know that this is Jacob.
Now, if anyone didn't know who John Cena was and they were watching in a theater, who would you want it to be? Who would you want to be Dom's brother?
Dave Bautista. Yeah.
Dave Bautista actually said no.
Well, damn it.
I know.
I was
Might have
thinking
been
more-
the next one.
Because it's so over the top, ridiculous, I would have chosen a historical figure. Someone unredeemable and tried to make him redeemable in the Fast and Furious
Well, so you would
series.
hire Genghis Khan or somebody?
Well, I would say hire the whitest person possible. That's what I would think.
No,
Someone that
Genghis
looks
Khan-
just like Dom.
Well,
I mean, we could get we see someone looking at Dom and all these the Jeeps getting attacked. Instead of John Cena, we pull back the camera. It's Osama bin Laden.
Oh my God!
this is
and he's like,
offensive.
"This is my brother."
And we
I
will
guess it's
redeem
pretty
him.
offensive that it's like Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
He said son Bilal. I mean, you guys like, I don't know, Hitler? Is that
No,
where
I'm
we're gonna
thinking
go
of
next?
the skin tone. At least they have the same skin tone. John Cena's like,
What the fuck is
Cheap
happening
white.
right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's move along because I want to talk about Charlize's hair.
Hey, I do want to say they sprayed.
You're
the
asking what's
hell
going
out of
on and now
John Cena, okay?
Okay, let's get back on track.
The spray
Minefield.
can. Yeah.
Minefield, so they make it out alive. Woohoo!
Tyrese blows up and flies up on the side of a mountain and slides down toward a mine. And this is one of my
Inches.
favorite moments in this movie because this is just where they go, "Fuck you,
Fuck
audience. We don't give a
you.
shit what
Yep.
you think."
Fuck
So
you.
he falls out of the front window, gets away from the mine, but while he's walking away, the truck blows up and falls on top of him, and then he's somewhere. He glitches behind it.
He glitches.
He glitches. The Matrix happens.
The director, Justin Lin, obviously wants us to think he's squashed, which would have probably been something like that would have shocked everybody if that happened. I would have been upset if Tyrese died.
Did you think that Tej and Ramses acted like they were sad?
No, Ramsey looked like she was visibly shaken. Yes.
I think they were more like, "Oh, that sucks."
Yeah, Luda was
That's
just
how-
like, okay,
That's
the
how I
thing.
look when I open up my takeout food and I see that they have like left the French fries out, and I go, "Oh, that sucks." I
So
wanted
you're
some French
saying
fries
that
tonight.
the
They were
Romans
just
of French
looking
fries.
like, oh, that's a mess. That's a messy situation.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh,
Romans of French
yeah.
fries.
Well, everything's fine." And we just cut to now that everybody's caught up in their cars. No one stopped for Tyrese except Ramsey, and somehow they all caught up to each other, and they're still racing. When they're knocked out of their cars or whatever. I think one of them gets thrown out of the car. I think it's Letty. She gets off the motorcycle in one of the explosions, and they catch him. They catch her
Yeah.
with the car hood.
Yeah,
Right?
She
She goes
lands on
flying,
Dom's car,
yeah.
and not a broken rib, nothing.
No.
Like, and then after that,
That's
Kristen,
where-
I can't even discuss this. This
is
is
where,
like so mind-boggling.
This is where John Cena pulls up in his car. He got around the mines too somehow, and he flies up, opens his door, and grabs the Epcot. I keep saying Epcot, the Epcot ball, and
You should
what's
say
it
the
called?
orb. Can you just call it?
The half orb. What is it? What is it called? Ares Project Ares.
Project.
So was it? What's
Ares Project.
Okay. So yeah, he grabs it. He flies out, and Letty and Dom see him. That's where they all share a look. And Letty's like, "Was that Jacob, your brother?"
Like,
So everybody knows that
I
this
mean,
guy exists.
First of all, they were going like 180 miles an hour. How would she even see his face?
No, he actually stops because he catches her, and the Project Ares goes flying on the floor, and he's able to pull on the side and
Oh,
open his
that's
door.
right.
And
They
scoop
give a
it up.
glance. They give those eyebrow things. You know, those eyebrow glances.
So now they have to chase him. So all of the cars, all of our group, go running to a cliff. I think Ramses and Tyrese and Luda are all in the car in front of them, and they are going. They don't know what happened just now with him stealing the orb. So they're heading toward a bridge, which is, imagine the bridge in Temple of Doom, right?
Yep.
It's just the raggedy, shittiest bridge ever. They go, we got to go across that. So they have sure as shit go across this bridge, and it falls completely apart as they're driving. And because this is a movie and they're in the Matrix again, they move mid-air like Marty McFly trying to go across on his hoverboard. He like goes across the damn thing, and they make it.
I'm telling you, I've never seen anything so ridiculous.
Yeah, but what's even you did because
I mean, it gets
right
worse.
what happens next is
It
even
gets-
more
it gets
ridiculous
worse.
because John Cena flies off the cliff while they're chasing him,
Oh my god.
and mid-air, because he's moving perfectly straight in a straight line, a stealth bomber shows up and magnetically hooks onto the top of the car and flies off with him. And now, like I said, no, it gets worse because now Dom has to also cross this gap. So how else would he do it? Well, you know what I would do is crash into the side of the bridge that has one wire on it and somehow hook my front of my tire onto the hook and grapple hook across the mountains like Batman with a fucking car.
I mean, first of all, the whole bottom of the car would have fallen out. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. They literally fly through the air. They fly. They fly.
He flies through the air, and then somehow the grappling hook actually lets go at the last moment so they can go rolling across a mountain and land perfectly on top of their tires with the entire car shredded. And just them looking at it, like, that was fun.
Yeah, not even a hair out of place. Well, Vin doesn't have any hair. But, you know, Michelle Rodriguez just looks perfect. There's not even a scratch. There's broken glass all over the place, and they don't have a scratch.
Yeah,
I don't even
I
know
guess,
why I'm thinking that this is upsetting me.
yeah,
Why
and
is
I guess
this
my question
upsetting
next,
me?
my question to you next is, how do they get off this mountain? Who gives a shit? Let's move on.
Yep,
Yeah.
let's move on.
That's what this movie does.
I mean, they all like met together and then got some pancakes or something. Then they went to the next place.
One word: magnets.
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 That's the
Yeah.
first introduction in this movie to magnets. Is that? Well, we cut to the bad
So
guys now.
overdone.
We see what's his name? His name is Jacob. I think that's Nam's brother's name. That's played by John Cena. They show up. He shows up at an airfield from his lifted car from the magnet thing. Somehow they dropped him off, and he's all fine. And he walks across the tarmac, and we meet another villain who happens to be his benefactor. This guy is like a typical foreigner, like Russian-sounding guy. Like he just
He's
sounds.
one of those actors that you think you've seen in other movies, but you haven't.
Yeah.
He has that face.
He looks just like Tate Donovan. Is that who it is?
He looks like Tate Donovan had a baby with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh.
That's what he looks.
That's Nichols.
Yeah.
Now I can't stop thinking about
Okay,
it. All
well,
right.
you'll see it. You'll see it in your dreams.
So yeah, they walk across and he's like, "Hey, that was some cool shit. When we picked you up with the magnets, that was so cool. I got some video of it." And he's like, "Anyways, where's Cypher?" And then we find out that Cypher, beautiful Charlize Theron, is in a perfect plexiglass
Beautiful.
box of some sort, a prison.
Of emotion.
Now, Gary, Jared, let's back off for a second and let the beautiful women here talk
Okay.
about the haircut.
First of all, I've had enough of this. You guys said in the last movie that Charlize's hair,
The dreads.
she's never
Didn't
looked
like
so
it. Yeah,
bad.
didn't
That's what you said. She's never looked so bad. You take this movie and you think that, oh, yeah, she's rocking that hair. She looks like, Aaron, back me up. She looks like
Back
a
you up.
freaking 6-year-old Victorian boy from like 1800.
She's got Justin Bieber hair.
It's freaking awful, okay?
It's like the bowl haircut that every kid had back
She
in
looks
the
like
90s.
Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
She looks like Mo.
Oh,
She looks
yes.
like Mo from the Three Stooges. Like you're just gonna pull the top of the hair off.
And guess what? She pulls it off. I
No,
don't
she
care.
doesn't
she
pull it off.
doesn't.
Looks
You
good.
said she looked the
No.
worst she's ever done in the last one.
She looked.
Are you
She looked
kidding?
drawn
I
out.
give her here a 7 in this one.
Wow.
What would you give her in the last
7?
one?
Didn't like that one as much. I
You
give
guys
it a-
are fucked in the head.
What?
That
About a 5 or a
hairdo is
6.
awful. Let me tell you, there is no way you can
It feels
ever
like-
make this woman ugly. She is
No.
gorgeous. However,
I
she's
agree.
gorgeous.
I
agree.
But that hairdo was so unfortunate. It was like Courtney Cox in Scream when she had them awful bangs.
No, no one looks as bad as
And-
Courtney
or
Cox. in
Josh
Scream.
Hartnett in the fucking
Oh, and
faculty.
Yeah.
Oh my
This
god.
is better, both in those.
The
but
worst
both.
hairdo of all time. It was awful.
You done?
I'm done. Move along. I got my rage out.
I let you
Stupid
have
haircut.
it. I let Aaron's really
Aaron's like-
quiet on that one.
I know, Aaron. Why are you backing me up? Saying
Because you
nothing.
keep talking. That's why I'm not backing you up. Because you're just like,
Excuse me.
Ugh.
Now go ahead and say your thing about the hair.
Aaron's like,
Go on.
yeah.
Go on now. Go on. Say it.
I did not like it at all.
That's what I'm like. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
okay.
did
That's
not
it. That's
like
all
it.
you. That's all you're saying. Okay.
She needed some styling gel or something. Like it was just like
You know,
it was just like flat.
Like she could have rocked that like shaved side thing, like Pink. You know how Pink rocks it with and she like spikes it up a little bit.
Yeah, but like
There's,
it was just flat. Like I think they used a
Yeah.
flat iron, and they're like, yeah, it works. And I was like, no, it doesn't.
No. Okay.
She got some highlights, so that was the only like redeeming thing.
Yeah, and they gave her some fruit roll-up pants.
Oh yeah, yeah. They gave her really tight red fruit roll-up pants,
Yeah, they're like vinyl,
and
but they look
she's
like fruit roll-ups.
there's nothing to do in this cell but pose,
Yeah.
and she's doing it pretty well, I think.
She's
But-
just working it. Like she's
working it.
overworking it.
And she has some of the best. There's a line of dialogue in here that's probably better than the whole movie's line of dialogue, where she basically tells the Russian guy that you're Yoda in Star Wars, and he's like, Yoda's the strong one, Yoda's the cool one. She's like, Yoda's the puppet with the hand up his ass. And I was like,
yeah.
best
I
line
mean,
here.
yeah, that was kind of cute.
I love that. Yeah, so it turns out that they have kidnapped her and they're holding her hostage so they could use the device, the whatever the hell it's called, Ares?
Aries. Project
Oh,
Aries. Or
God.
Aries Project.
The balls.
Not Epcot.
Epcot. I should call it that, actually. They're using her, and they have like a device. They're not giving her any internet. They're giving her like an old typewriter and a pigeon messenger of some sort to find out information. She's going to help them hack this thing. I don't really understand this plot.
But what's the reasoning behind the ball? What are they doing? To hack the satellite
Please,
so that they can
guys,
can
help me with
control
Project
it?
Ares.
In Fast 8, was it Fast 8?
Well, that was the last one.
Yeah.
Remember the scene where they had the super weapon to be able to control any vehicle?
Yes. Not gonna
Um,
forget.
There's Priuses, any car, they can self-drive and whatever.
This one's supposed to hack everything, right? But what does
Yes.
that mean?
Oh, come on. Like banks and
Anything
stuff,
with
banks.
electronics, meaning that they can get into any weapon system.
Oh,
So
it's an
basically-
untraceable thing, too?
Each
Okay.
movie was basically an upgrade of the God's Eye. So God's Eye was like, I could take over every camera. Next movie's like, now we can take over every car. And in this one, they're like, I don't know, everything?
Ugh.
Toasters?
Oh, God.
Next one is gonna be
Those two. I mean,
brain controlled.
I shit you not. That's the kind of stuff I want to. I want to know what you guys think. But what could they do next? You know?
No, next one's just a revenge flick. That's all it is.
Yeah, but they're
Momoa.
all revenge flicks. This one's a revenge
It's a
flick
revenge
too.
flick. Yeah, he has no other ulterior motive, I'm sure. Just want to get revenge.
Fast 10 opens up a year before the crash, and it turns out Dom had another brother that was kidnapped right before the race.
Well, you're going to be close. It's someone else's brother. So
Yeah.
okay, we'll get to that. But
Oh, geez.
No, we won't get to that. We're gonna keep silent until we see Fast X.
so
I'm literally just throwing stuff out, and you're like, yes, Gary.
you're getting you're getting hot.
This
It's
is
getting warm.
Wow.
So so this device is going to take over this stuff, but for some reason they need Ramsey. Not Ramsey. They need Cypher. I don't know if any of you guys actually understand why.
Okay,
No,
I do
I
because she
want-
has money. She has money.
No, because the
No.
benefactor has the money. They don't even need money.
Well, then what's the reasoning?
But she was the one that was controlling everything else from 8, right?
Yes.
So I guess we're just continuing off with that because that's why they have her.
Well,
They're
they
trying
need
to-
to find the
they're
other
they're
half
trying
of
to
the
find
ball.
right. So they're trying
Well-
to. I'm just assuming they're trying to bring these two halves of Project Ares together to combine with God's Eye and
Yeah, I
everything
guess-
else to make that. But
I guess we should say what's happening with Project Ares. There are two halves of a sphere, and they have to put them together, but there's also a key, and they have to figure out where the key is. They have one half, right? And
Yes.
like you said, with Cypher, I guess she, some reason, knows that they need a key. I don't really understand her plot line in this movie. The only thing that you can think of is Double Cross is coming,
yeah,
and it sure as shit does in the middle here. So, I mean,
She's the only one that can locate the other half. I mean, in summary.
that's weird that they need her to do that. Okay, so whatever. So yeah, I mean, Cypher's in this room. They basically are using her, and what? The gang finds out. Hey, who is that guy? It's Dom's brother. Dom has a brother. The guy's trying to kill us. The guy that was just did some badass magnet thing. He's your brother. Yep. Oh, that's nice to know. Okay, we gotta stop him. That's the fucking movie, right? And also there's a moment here where Tyrese decides to finally be as meta as possible, where he asks everybody, I think I'm not normal. I've survived everything. Car crashes, gunshots. I was riddled with bullets and I'm not hurt. I have no scars. And also I took out a submarine. So he's like,
It's like
I
he's
think I'm
making
immortal.
fun of the movie.
Yeah, this is where the writers were like, we know this is dumb.
Yeah.
And everybody's asking. And this is the mother of the writers. And basically, this is a new writer because Chris Morgan, I think, left the series. He wrote all of them since 3, I believe. He's written all of them. But he stopped writing this one because he went and wrote Hobbs and Shaw. And that pretty much probably pissed off Vin Diesel. So he got another writer in there. And I think this guy basically did not two things. I think he just wrote anything Vin Diesel said. And I think that he also wrote anything the internet was joking about. So the two things that they're getting joked about on the internet this time were how they were all superhuman. And
Which we definitely see
also
here.
another big one that's coming at the end of this movie. So yeah, I think that this is just the writers writing Tyrese's dialogue to say, hey, we realize this is so insane and stupid.
Is this X-Men 3 where
It could be.
where it's like, hey, you know what? We heard you fans, and we're gonna put all that stuff in a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. You like that Juggernaut bitch thing? Let's put that right in this
I was
movie.
like, I was there for the premiere of that movie.
Me too.
And I was like, oh my god, everything on the internet they're doing.
They're doing
This
it.
movie's so fun, but it's so terrible.
It's so bad. Yeah.
It's so bad. They're not gonna make another one of these for 20 years.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not happening here with Fast 9. We're going to get another one as soon as fucking possible. And probably another couple.
Because there is one coming out this week, and I was surprised. That's why I asked you, when did this last one? Oh, they just made this one?
21, yeah. Can you
How much
imagine?
work? You need like 5-10 years to make a movie of this quality. Why so fast?
That's
Why
amazing.
so fast?
Why so fast?
Oh my god.
And again, the title for this movie was what, Aaron? What'd I call it?
You called it Fast 9?
No?
No?
Furious
9?
Magnets.
Furious
Furious
Magnets.
Magnets.
Furious
Oh.
magnets. I like it.
So, virtually the whole plot now is that all the characters are going to split up because when everybody's telling everybody what's going on, basically the gang tells them, hey, we have control of magnets. Right? I don't even know why this comes in part of it, but he's like, look at this giant magnet. They're in a base, by the way, that Mr. Nobody has left them the information to. And so they're using the operation base, which virtually is just some kind of tunnel system that has a giant computer and a magnet in it. Right?
It's just so bizarre.
So this is where they tell Dom's like, hey, my brother's a real person. He's alive and he's mad, and I blame him for killing my father. Turns out we get in a flashback that he is responsible for the car crash.
Yeah, he's responsible for the car crash because I guess they were having financial problems and he owed a lot of money. So he wanted to fix the car race. And so he and his son, which is John Cena, plotted to fix the car so that it stalled out on the racetrack. But what happened instead was that he got slammed against the railing and it blew up.
Yeah,
and that
like
was not
full on Final Destination explosion.
Yeah, full on. Like, it was crazy.
It looks like it bounces around on a fence.
And
The fence doesn't even get dented. It just bounces around.
Did you say, like, was that an electric fence or
I know, I
something?
said, was that
It just
fence
blew
electrified?
up.
The car got tapped. Immediately flies up 9 degrees, 180.
Yeah.
And as soon as it touches the fence,
It twirls.
it instantly what's it called?
Explode.
Internal combustion.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one investigate this. This is normal.
Yeah.
What was
There
that,
was-
Jeff?
there was
Jeff,
no-
you had something you wanted to say, Jeff?
Jeff.
Okay,
Oh,
never
no,
mind.
no,
Anyways,
Jeff. He went off the rails. That's
Jeff,
what
you're
you
awfully
no.
quiet today. You're thinking of a pun, huh?
You know, last week we were subjected to Jeff's Sasquatch arm.
Oh, I forgot
And-
about that. Did I leave that in?
Yeah, I'm like, Jeff, are you done with your Sasquatch arm?
I hope I
He
left
was
that in.
literally scratching his Sasquatch arm for like 20 minutes.
Oh
I'm
my
like, I can hear everything in my head.
Jeff's not here tonight, but I'm sure he would have said something really important about Baby Shark or something. So, basically we get that flashback of the car explosion and all this stuff. We get more details about what you were saying a little more later when they have a confrontation. But right now, basically, the characters all have to come up with, what are we going to do? And Dom says, hey, they're like, there's information coming. And by the way, I forgot to mention that Dom's sister shows up and says, I'm a part of it now, and Brian's just watching the kids, and I want to make sure my brother's okay.
Okay.
And then they're like, and by the way, their information is coming from Tokyo. Oh, our old friend died in Tokyo. And then that's when Dom goes, I've been carrying this postcard in my ass pocket for about 35, who knows how long this movie series has been taking place since Han has died. He has a postcard in his back pocket, ready to go for this conversation.
Mint condition. He carries it around wherever he goes in
He says,
his pocket.
you know what? I've never told you guys this before, but when Han died, I got a postcard from Tokyo. Mysteriously.
That's kind of important.
Yeah,
I would tell my family.
And
that.
he's like, I went to Tokyo and got his body, brought it back, buried it, but I never felt like telling you guys any of this.
Oh, yeah? So he got his body, huh? Really? The body?
Remember?
Remember when he had that funeral? They had that funeral and all his family members came?
Yep. He said, I had to go get the body.
Oh, yeah, the body. Okay,
There
so
was
there's a
no
body in there?
left.
Yeah.
So did the mailman deliver the postcard and the bomb that blew up their house?
Oh. Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a really
Maybe.
good point.
I'm still stuck on the fact that Vin Diesel went to get his body and literally he
you
knew
know what
that
else
he
he
was
got?
alive the whole
Do you
time.
know what else he got?
No, you don't have to realize the postal service would have to deliver, time it. Hobbs, right, would have had to time it so that he would know exactly how long it takes United
the mail.
Postal Service to deliver that mailbox.
That's true.
Run into Han
We never talked about that in
and
that
throw it
episode.
in
but we
there,
should
and then
have.
it blows up at the same time. Okay.
That Shaw he's a badass. I'm sorry.
He is bad.
But not only did he got the body, he also got a bag of his belongings that were left in the fire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The belongings that were in Han's pockets that he was in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, this fucking movie.
I mean, this whole franchise, like, what the fuck? Do you really, does anyone think these things through? I mean, my 5-year-old nephew can write this shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody go watch
Like-
the American Dad episode again. It is one of the funniest jokes.
It's outrageous.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh my god, I love that
so-
episode.
So, yeah. Okay, so now we got a mission. Everybody in this group gets a mission, right? So Mia and Letty decide to go to Tokyo to go see where the postcard came from. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they say this is important and somehow it has some kind of it has some kind of attachment to this plot. There's no reason to even think that. It just so happens that the address on the postcard might have some connection to this mission they're on. Who gives a shit?
This is so
If-
fucking
stranger.
stupid.
If you ever want to find me, just come to this spot here.
Okay, well, can we just talk about why Mia is even in Tokyo? Like, what is her deal?
Mia decides for some reason to go to Tokyo with Letty to figure out that mission.
Yeah, really?
But
Because someone killed Elsa, and she even knows anything about Elsa? Like,
what does that mean?
Well, what is she on this mission
Who's
for?
Why are you talking about Elsa? Who gives a shit
That's
about
the
that character?
whole revenge thing, right? They want to go and get justice for...
No, not anymore. Now they want to stop Dom's brother.
So, all right, fine. So they want to stop the brother, but what
Cypher
does she have to get
no
out of it?
longer is any relevance to this plot line
She's going to leave
to
her
these
kids.
characters.
She's okay, fine, but she's
So,
going to
yeah,
leave
she-
her kids and her husband.
because she's worried about her other brother, Jacob. So anyways, it doesn't matter because even better, the better plot line here is that for some reason Tyrese and Tesh go to another country to talk to the characters from Tokyo Drift. I don't know why this plot happens here.
They did not
But it's-
age a day.
Oh, this
Not a day. They look the same.
Twink is eating a lot of Twinks.
Oh god.
And-
I did not recognize him actually. I was like, wait, that's
And Lucas
Wow,
Black
wow.
hasn't eaten anything. He's extremely skinny.
Oh, I didn't
Even-
realize it was him. You guys had to tell me.
I don't know how you didn't notice. He went, "I don't want your life." Is that what he said?
yeah.
Oh,
thinking
wrong
of the
movie.
wrong movie.
Wrong
You
movie.
know,
Way wrong movie.
That was a
I
joke.
thought I was.
That's how he talks.
In college, I thought I was a college student for way too long. Not anymore after seeing this man's been in college for 13 years and
Yeah.
just dropped out.
We should talk about what we were trying to talk down during the movie. We're trying to figure out the timeline of this film because all of the movies are prequels to Tokyo Drift. And then after Tokyo Drift happens, Han dies. I think that catches up to 7 or 6. I can't remember where Han left for Tokyo.
2005, right?
Or does Giselle die? It's Shaw's brother.
Giselle died in
So it's got to be
six.
6.
Six,
Yeah,
yes.
because Fast Five was the good one.
So then 6 on are supposed to catch up, but the timeline we were trying to discuss what year it
Yeah,
was taking
seven,
place.
seven, and Tokyo Drift are about the same time.
And that movie was supposed to take place in what year? We said back in the day?
2014.
2014 with the flip phones and a
Yeah.
right, yeah. Oh my god! And then so every movie on from there is like 2015, 2016, and then this one's supposed to be 2017.
2019.
That this is where this one takes place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possible, right?
From what I'm kind of they're looking
I
at the
just-
clues.
Don't know
So
John's
Tokyo
age.
Drift.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, we also find out that we get a little bit of information that Mia in '89 was 16,
Made no sense.
Okay.
and we're all like, "What?"
Letty references that she, she was 16 when basically her dad passed away.
It wasn't when the dad passed away. It was
Or-
whenever Dom got out of jail. We don't know
Yeah,
how long
but
he was in jail.
Dom got out of jail and Jacob was gone, and then she wanted to find Jacob.
So she
was
looked for him.
Yeah, so she was 16. So I don't know how long Dom was in
Okay,
jail.
so if she was 16 in 1989,
I'd
if
say
you
or
do
90.
the math.
Yeah.
Okay, so say 90.
Yeah.
Say 90, 91. Because he did like what, a year and a half in jail? That's what they said?
So in 2019, she's what, 40 something years old?
46.
So she'd be 46 years old.
Okay.
Wow.
So Dom's little sister is 46 years old. That makes Dom
No,
Okay.
no. She'd be like 51, 52 years old.
what?
But she was born
Mia?
in what, 72?
So that would no. What, the actress was born in 1980.
No. The if she was 16 in 1989.
Oh
10 years
yes.
before is 79 minus 6.
73.
73. Okay, so she'd be exactly 50.
She's
So
50
she'd be
years
50.
old.
So that would make
Make
sense.
Dom and Jacob how old?
So
A lot. Well,
Dom's
I
gotta
mean,
be
50.
65.
Yeah.
he would be 65. He would be 65 years old.
This fucking movie series, guys. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Math is
Alright.
fun.
Dom is 60 years
Math
old.
is fun, and that's something that
Yeah.
Tej keeps
Dom,
saying.
Yeah.
at the end of
Dom is 60 years older than his son.
Wow.
That's
Thank you, Gary.
amazing.
Remember
That's
those
amazing.
VH1 pop-ups? I want that to pop up.
Oh, I wish
Oh my
there was a
God.
pop up on these movies. I wish they
Oh
brought
my
that back for
God.
things like this.
Yeah.
So okay. Now they're caught up with the math thing. The Tokyo Drift guys. Now we're gonna talk about their ages because they were just in high school not too long ago in Tokyo, and now they're building rocket ships.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What year was Tokyo Drift?
You said
2014.
2014,
Yeah.
and it's
So-
2019.
So they're only like
5 years
they
later.
aged,
5 years
like,
5 years later, we
they
became
aged,
rocket
like,
No,
scientists.
no. When it was originally made, it was
minute.
about 2005, right? When the
Yeah.
original movie. But because they want to put that, because they love Han so much, they
Yes.
have to keep pushing back that movie.
I don't know what the fuck they were
Instead of
thinking with
aging
this Han
15 years.
obsession. Yeah. And the only reason that we even have a Han plotline in this movie and connecting with Tokyo Drift is because the fans were mad that Shaw became a good guy and Shaw's responsible for his murder, and they started an online campaign saying justice for Han, where they had to bring Han back to life.
But why? He's the
I-
stupidest character. He doesn't do a
And
goddamn
in
thing.
6,
We were all
He
talking
doesn't
about this.
do
like,
anything.
what if he was taken out of this story? Would it matter?
No,
It
And-
doesn't matter.
I
Yet he's
mean,
here.
like
he does
they're-
nothing. He sucks.
in
But-
in
But
6,
he got the key. Very
Oh,
important.
fucking-
But
Give
they
me
could
a
have just
break.
found the key.
It was a
Because
cheap
he's found
insert.
it.
Yeah, it was a cheap insert.
That's it.
in 6, the older Shaw brothers, the one that leads to Giselle being thrown out the plane, right?
It's he's the younger one. Deckard
Okay, he's the
is
younger
older
one. So that was the plot. So imagine it's Giselle and Han, and the next 2 movies they become part of the family after killing Giselle and Han.
They did somehow.
Yeah, the Shaw brothers.
The Shaw brothers are
Yeah,
now a part of the family because and thank you for leading me into this because this leads perfectly. While the other 2 are in Tokyo and these other 2 are watching the Tokyo Drift guys make a rocket ship for some reason, we have a side plot where Dom goes to England, I believe, London maybe, right? And he goes and meets the Shaw's mother.
Queenie. Okay.
Queenie.
Queenie. But so this is another stupid goddamn scene in this movie that we don't need. What is the reasoning? We
'Cause she's
see
funny?
that she's in a freaking expensive jewelry place with, a big party going on or whatever. And all of a sudden sirens start going off. Bing, bing, bing. They show all this jewelry in this case. And then there's one necklace missing. Okay, so Queenie took it. Great. So she walks out of there casually, just leaves. And Dom's standing there. And they have a little word exchange. What's the reasoning?
Dom wants
She
to
watched
know
the
because
cool, car chase.
it turns out that Queenie was working with Dom's brother, Jacob. She's the one that gave him the information of where that orb was in the first place or where to hit nobody. Because she said, now that I I think about it, he wasn't a family member of yours, was he? And he's like, he's my brother. And she's like, shit, I fucked up. Sorry, you're my favorite white boy, right? You're my favorite American, or something like that. Right?
That's what she says.
And then she drives him to
pointless.
she, for some reason, drives him to a party at Jacob's door. And of course, because this is a villain, they have to have a party at a castle.
Yeah.
And everybody, that's why I don't get these movies. Why don't everybody, why don't the heroes always just look at the castle? Where's the most popular castle? Oh, that's where the bad guys probably are. That's it. That's all you have to do in these movies.
You could just follow the stench of the road hose, outside.
Who are always outside
They're
partying.
always outside
But
of the
these
venue.
Rojos were Rojos.
Rojos.
The Rojos. These road hoes actually were pretty classy.
Yeah,
Okay?
'cause
They-
why?
They were having a white
Because
party.
they were all
they were
wearing
ha-
white.
They were all wearing white and
and they're all dancing randomly.
dancing around cars.
But
Now, why?
you
Why
don't
is
see
that a
their
thing?
booty cheeks? This one, there was no
Yeah.
booty cheeks.
There was a
shot.
real lacking of booty
Yeah,
cheeks in this film.
No booty.
The road hose were classier in this one.
Yes, they were.
But there were still road hose. But honestly, why do we even need this scene? Why? Why?
Well, here's where Jacob and Dom finally meet up, and they have a little gun pointing battle at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And not much is said here except we find out that Dom raced his brother Jacob after he got out of jail. It turned out for some reason after causing the crash that killed his father, he decided to become a street racer. And he's a good street racer apparently, but Dom comes and races him because he's better. He's always better at
Yeah, he
everything.
just has to show him up and make him look like a damn fool. And then
Yeah.
he tells them, "Oh, we're gonna race, and then you're gonna lose. So you just keep driving and just drive yourself out of my life."
Well, he gives him an option. If you win, you come home. If you lose, you never stop driving and you never come home.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of
it
fucking
is-
crazy.
It is.
And by
fucked
the
up.
way, Dom in jail meets the two rappers that are a part of the series.
Cheech and
Don
Chong.
Omar.
Yeah, yes.
Cheech and Chong.
Santos and
Yeah. Leo and Santos.
yes. It turns out that they are the ones that gave him the information to know that the crack in the engine or whatever will cause the car to explode, and that's what happened, and that's why he thinks his brother did it. Well, I guess I don't know if this is where we find out, but Jacob does admit that I did it, but I did it because Dad asked me to. He wanted to stop the race and lose the race purposely because we were out of money, and he didn't want you to know about it because you were too prideful.
Eh.
And he's like, a good brother would have came to me and told me what.
You couldn't handle reality of like who I really was. You'd be too disappointed.
Yeah, we've been too disappointed. So since he was the lesser brother, which everybody keeps saying in this movie, which is fucking terrible. Yeah, right. It's terrible. I feel so bad for this character all the time. He is forced to do the hard decision for his father, and it blew up in his face, literally. But you know what this led to? He became a pro spy that joined Mr. Nobody and worked with Mr. Nobody as a professional spy.
I was gonna tell you he was a black sheep due to not having a family resemblance.
Yeah, I mean, everybody keeps pointing out that you look nothing like each other. Like, it's supposed to be funny? I don't know. I was waiting for them to say, oh, well, maybe that's a twist in the next movie. The villains be like, I actually adopted you, and I sold you to Dom's father, and some stupid shit will come out, probably.
Dom was actually the original Mr. Nobody.
Yes. So,
Don't give the writers ideas. They're actually gonna do it.
because he pulled a gun on Jacob, that's where they say, you're actually on diplomatic soil, and you pulled a gun and try to kill somebody, and we have you arrested. So Dom gets arrested, but it turns out that the SWAT car he gets thrown into has a gang of women dressed as SWAT teams led by Cardi B.
And why?
And Cardi B says great dialogue and great acting, like, this gun, this give you a person, this help you out. It's so bad. It was so...
The old.
Is it Cardi B? Am I getting this right?
The okay. Or
Is
whatever.
it Cardi B? I don't know.
It is Cardi B.
This gun is your brother's gun. You can track him anywhere.
And Jared, you mentioned you're a big fan of Cardi B. What was your favorite song of hers?
Oh gosh.
I think Jared's mind is melting during this. Are you okay?
Yeah,
What
Jared-
happened?
Are you
Jared's
alright?
It's all running together. I mean, I don't know.
I'm doing a damn good job, I think, guys. I need some credit for remembering this plot line.
Listen, you're a big fan of this movie. It's like your 12th time watching it. It's our first time. Everything blends together. I remember.
I saw this in the theater, haven't seen it since, and I remember why.
Why?
This is let's get to it. Let's wait. So, Cardi B gives him a gun to help track him. Does that come back? Not really.
No.
So I'm confused by
Cardi B?
well, that as well. But she gives him Jacob's gun.
It has his fingerprint
So-
on it. That's like a device.
Dom has Jacob's gun. So let me see. How are we going to track Jacob again? I have his gun.
That has a fingerprint locking device that will only be unlocked by Jacob's hand, and somehow is going to be a tracking device?
What?
Yeah.
That's what Cardi B says in the worst acting ever.
Oh.
Why do
Very,
we
very
even
terrible.
need these hookers in this freaking movie?
Well,
Who are they?
he's-
They're like supposed to be SWAT people.
Yeah. But now,
No, they're friends of Dom's
Friends.
dressed in SWAT gear.
Why?
I don't know, and I don't care, and we're gonna move on.
Let's keep going.
They all have perfect hair under the helmets.
Oh, is it perfect here? So, anyways,
So was Dom using his gun?
No.
So she hands it over in a bag.
yep. And she says you can
And
track
we never
it.
see it again?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. So
That's
pointless. Okay, good. Moving on.
Keep it going.
Jesus Christ.
Well, so
Gary's dying. Are you okay, Gary?
all the gang comes back together from their random missions, except we have to talk about one random mission because the one with the Tokyo Drift people doesn't matter until later when for some reason it comes back.
Oh god.
But the one mission that does kind of matter is Mia and Letty find Han. He's alive. They also find a girl who helps them beat up a bunch of guys, and then Han sniper rifles them all. Because
She actually
you
was
remember
pretty
Han,
cool.
Han is a great sniper. Remember that cool sniper plot line
Killing
guy?
machine.
Yeah.
He's a killing machine now.
He's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
one technically who's killed people
And
in these movies.
no, Dom
I mean, you
kills
kill four?
everybody.
Yeah. Dom
No,
literally.
but I
kills
mean, like,
everybody.
Also,
point blank.
Ryan.
With the,
With a
Kills
gun. I mean,
tons of
point
people.
blank with a gun.
Well, Tyrese in this movie just riddled 30 people with a machine gun.
yeah.
Anyways, so
We forgot about that amongst everything else.
let's point out the fact that Han has been waiting at this address for them to show up for some reason.
How did he
For
know they were going to be
years.
there? Come on.
He read the script.
It's so far fetched.
Yep, he read the script. So it turns out all the group now come back together at this nobody station to all tell each other what has happened, right? And they tell them, hey, Han's alive. And everybody's like, oh my God. And he's like, it's a long story. Here's the gist of it. I work for Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody pretended that I was in the car when Deckard killed me and removed me somehow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
understand that
It was a
at
good magic
all.
trick,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah.
And he was working
He's
for
a
him.
sorcerer.
And Mr. Nobody's also a jerk that everybody somehow trusts because Mr. Nobody sent him on a mission, didn't tell him the specifics of the mission. He had to get a device from this person's house. It's a Batman origin story where the husband and wife of scientists that own this orb, that Project Ares orb, they blew up in a car, leaving their daughter inside the house to see them die. And Han goes and saves the little girl and takes the Ares device by killing everybody in the room and getting shot multiple times, but somehow surviving and having no wounds.
Han
Did I get everything right?
Yeah, that's
That
correct.
was
Yeah.
it.
Spot on.
So, yeah.
Han received this mission from Mr. Nobody because he dated Giselle. And
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me because Giselle actually comes back for the first time in the series, but they actually mention her again. They basically say, you know what, Giselle worked for me. She didn't. That's bullshit. She was working for a drug cartel bad guys, and
Yeah.
he says that she was one of the best assets he ever had.
I'm sure she was one of the
yeah.
best assets.
And I lost her to love. No, you didn't lose her to love. She actually was working for bad guys, and Dom went and got her, and Dom recruited her.
Like, I just want to know, are
It's
the writers like
it's
watching
so
the last
bad.
couple movies
Yeah.
that happened because
No.
they can't keep up with the writing.
Yeah,
They can't keep up with the plot.
Because this, I think a lot of people forgot, Giselle tried to have sex with Dom. Do you guys remember that plot
Yes.
line? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mr. Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody says, you know, I lost her for love, and she went after you, and everything like that. And since she's so great and she trusted you, she vouched for you, I also agree that you're a badass. I know you eat chips and shoot sniper rifles, and that's all you can do. So go get this device and save this girl's life. All right, turns out the trick is, the key that everybody's looking for is just this girl that Han happened to save and has been living with or hanging out with for years as like his daughter.
Well, apparently her DNA, is the same as her parents, so like,
That's
they,
what can
they
unlock
need the
two
DNA.
devices
Yeah.
together.
Now,
So
we're talking about
that's
4
it.
years when she was like 10, and now she should be 14 now.
Yes,
Apparently
that's
she's
another
20.
thing.
Yeah.
She's like she's a grown woman now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
But
was
they
she
just-
was like 10 years old.
See, they don't go by any kind of dates or timelines, but they do make it a point to put the dates and timelines in there somehow.
Yes.
But they still don't understand their own dates.
They
and
never
timelines.
even the chalkboard is just rubbing off at this point. They
Oh
don't know
my
what's going on in the connections.
I mean, they're pretty much asleep at the table right now.
Well, even more so. Go ahead.
Well, not to mention with this whole scene, she ends up showing up when Letty and Mia are there.
Yeah, there's a whole fight, and then she.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I don't understand, like, so she's watching over Han's place. Did Han know that they were all coming for them?
I don't know.
I mean, we just happen to
yeah.
so we're just monitoring this place, waiting for Han to show back up again.
Yeah,
But if
he's been sitting
but if
there
he's-
for, like,
if he's
4 years.
supposedly dead, why are we watching this one fucking apartment?
Right.
Even more so,
exactly.
how would the villains know?
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah,
it
how
makes
did
no
they get
sense.
there?
So bonkers.
So
It
now,
was-
I think we're like I think we're just desensitized. At
we
this
just
point,
can't
but
think.
it still
You're not
angers
supposed to
me.
think during these movies.
I mean,
at
no,
all.
we're thinking too much, and I
since
think
we're-
that's the problem.
since you're bringing up being angered, let's get into the real interesting angry parts because the group decides. You know how we stop
angry,
Jacob?
angry parts.
Mm-hmm.
What's
the
angry?
more angering parts. How about
We're
that?
angry. Angry.
What time did you want to go to sleep?
I want to go to sleep yesterday.
Well, now I'm going to push it to another hour.
We
No.
got some more hair talk to talk about soon.
Yeah,
Can we
let's
talk
get more
about,
talking.
Charlize and no. Let's not talk about Charlize ever. Ever.
So, anyways, the group says, you know what we should do? I know how to stop them. Let's put magnets on our cars.
Yes.
These magnets are like
These
beyond
these-
industrial strength. Like they should be illegal. I mean, they could literally.
Like where?
What if they were illegal? What would
I think
happen?
they are illegal.
But
I
aren't
mean-
the magnets heavy?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like they can't be like that light.
They actually have a control device that can go to 11 on these magnets.
Not a
They
10.
can. It's
11.
so
It's
fucking
like, have
crazy.
you watched those magic TV shows where someone tries to lift a suitcase and they turn it on and turn it off?
Yeah.
They're thinking, you know what? Our fans are jokers. Okay? They're easily amused. We're going to use the same technology used in Penn and Teller and different magician illusionists use. I didn't want to insult the magicians listening in.
We have so much.
And we're going to press them. We're going to use the same technology
Sorry to the magician
to
community.
destroy and complete terrorist force.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, you know what? Because Dom has Jacob's gun, they know where Jacob is.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here.
Scotland, I think.
And you know what Jacob's deciding to do? Grapple hook across a city over and over and over until he gets to the spot that he needs.
A lot.
This
That's a lot
movie
of
is
planning.
fucking crazy. And you know what? He only brought one other guy, which happens to be his rich benefactor, to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Not any other villains or anything. And then he's got some other villains guarding a truck. And it's a magnet truck.
Because, like, you know, they need
What
the
is happening?
magnets to get rid of the video feed.
It's
That's
a
the
magnet.
only.
Is that what they do? Then?
Yeah. They turned it on, and all of a sudden, like, the video feeds are going crazy, and Ramsey's like, I can't see anything. There's no video. And
That's right. That they're
so-
scrambling my feed.
Yeah.
And Ramsey has to drive a truck.
it was
And
crazy.
she's got
Crazy.
magnets in it.
Yeah.
It's insane. And
A lot of damage.
This
was
movie
done.
made
Dom
me hate Ramsey.
runs across a rooftop and catches a
Oh.
guy zip lining across a cityscape
Impossible.
in the best way possible. He tackles him off a grappling hook
Mm-hmm.
line
In midair.
into a window, and they have a fight where they smash each other through walls like they're paper. And none of
It was
and
like
the
a Looney
only-
Tunes cartoon.
the only cuts they have on the side of their temples. They
Yeah.
both have the same dripping blood on the side of their
but,
temples.
But Dom's shirt is still white.
Yes, it is. It's full white here because he's in
Yeah.
good mode now.
I like how Jacob just took his head and just went through the wall.
Yes, he just
And,
threw
like, it
through
was like
walls.
the back of his head should be really bloody. Nope.
No.
Nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. It doesn't even affect him. And I would say that Vin Diesel's acting is so atrocious. They just keep showing his face, and he's just like, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's a cross between having to take a dump or eating a hot pepper. I don't really understand his emotional
Maybe
range.
both.
And even getting thrown through a wall, he makes that same fucking face.
It's
It
taking a
doesn't
dump after
change.
eating a hot pepper.
Ah, there you go.
It's so crazy, guys. It's crazy.
It gets crazier.
And he actually, this is the best part, is that the way they actually jump out a window and fall like 4 stories on top of the magnet truck that happens to be the one Ramsey's driving.
Truck.
This fucking movie, I'm telling you. Well, and then the best part is Jacob is fine. He gets off the truck and gets into a car and speeds off. And they have to chase him. And they get in their magnet cars. And they pull Jacob's entire car through a storefront, probably killing 50 people, and magnetize him to the car. Now,
Yeah.
I'm so mad here. There isn't a shot of John Cena sideways on the magnet.
Oh my god.
Would have been
It would
fucking
be
hilarious.
hilarious, like on
Great.
that ride, the Gravitron. When
Yeah.
you're in, remember when you were a kid and you had to, and they
Oh,
stuck to the
God,
wall when you went around.
Gravitron.
I wish
Like,
there was a shot of this. They
There was
don't
like
show
a
it.
20-minute scene of the cars just being magnetized and just carnage throughout the streets. People are dying left and right, which of course, you know, they don't show people dying. But
Well, this isn't the main magnet fight, so don't.
Oh, am I jumping
confusing.
ahead?
Yeah. no,
Oh,
So
Sorry.
Here's the trick. This is the greatest thing. I don't even know if you guys noticed this. So Jacob's plot is that he actually wanted to get captured because they bring him back to Mr. Nobody's base, and you find out that Jacob worked for Mr. Nobody and worked with all these people, and he is the reason that Mr. Nobody tried to get Dom on his side. He suggested Dom's name to Mr. Nobody and said, I know somebody that can help you out. Because he was going to double cross Mr. Nobody all along, and he wanted to get into this room so he can hear what the key is, and then when he's there, he can have everybody infiltrate the base and take the key, which is the girl.
Crazy.
okay. Well, yeah.
So the
You can
zip
hear
line
you
plot
can hear
line,
all that through like a cinder block wall, like all that
well,
discussion.
they actually put him in a cinder block wall that's a giant, like it looks like one of those like things you have on the window where you turn the blinds. It's a giant cinder block blind system, but it actually has a little hole that you can flap open to listen to.
Okay, that's
And he
convenient.
puts his eyes through. I guess that's where you get dinner.
Convenient. Yeah. So what, did he have a cell phone on him to call his goons and say, "Hey, the key is here"?
Yep, he actually does because that was actually his secret base and he already had it rigged up. He wanted them to be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is so fucking dumb. What's even more dumb is when all the bad guys get there, they don't kill everybody.
No.
They just leave them alive.
Normally, that's what they would do. They would kill everybody.
Villains would kill
But,
at least
you know,
somebody.
We have to leave the fast crew alive.
I keep thinking that Ramsey's gonna get killed every minute. I'm like, Ramsey's we have 2 hackers.
I wouldn't care if Ramsey got killed. She sucks.
I mean,
She doesn't do
I'd rather
anything.
have Ramsey there than at this point. I don't know what Tej's plot line is.
Well, his job is to banter with Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
they're
important.
bromance. They're weird romance.
With the Tokyo Drift crew, you have 3 more hackers.
Well, apparently they could do everything.
They can do everything.
Yeah,
so
they could
now
make
we got
rockets
5.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, like, this, like, coming up, like, the next scene with, like, Vin, like, fighting everybody off. I thought that was superb. I thought that was the pinnacle, like, blockbuster moment of this movie.
Well,
Aaron was impressed by his, what do you call it? His mana? What was it? His, what do you call it?
what are you talking about?
When you his aggro.
His aggro?
Yeah, he went aggro in that scene when he like fought off like 80 guys by himself.
Remember Zeus from No Holds Barred?
I
That
do.
Vin Diesel was stiff like that and looked like he was taking guys down.
Yes, it's terrible acting.
Yeah.
It's like terrible fight acting. He's just putting his arm out and they're getting clotheslined and they're like running into his arm. Well, we jumped ahead a little bit because all the bad guys, they take the Han's whatever she is. She turns out to be the key, and Han's taking care of her. They kidnap her because they have everything they need, and they shut the place down and don't kill anybody. But they leave some guards behind to maybe kill them. I don't really understand this though. And also Jacob sees his sister, and he's like going to kill his sister here.
I mean, at what point was he ever going to do that?
He left guards there, and they all left, and they took everything, and they were
he
there to kill them.
He probably gave them instructions not to hurt them.
What were they supposed to do? Just hold them in the zoo?
I mean, I
fuck's
guess.
what's the point of
They
this?
could have gone in and shot them all, but they didn't.
Well, they were about to, I think, because Tej turns on the magnet, and it takes their guns away, and they're able to beat them, and this leaves Dom to run out and chase Jacob, but gets in a hallway where he gets surrounded by, I don't know, about 50 people in a silo of some sort that's up in the air on a walkway, and he gets trapped in here and shuts the door and locks out Letty so he can take on all the bad guys by himself and make them all survive.
There's like at least 50 of them.
He picks people up and throws them like rag dolls. Like we said Bane. He becomes Bane. He actually starts doing Bane moves on everybody. He's cracking their backs, throwing them up in the air.
The same scene from Batman. Not Batman Begins. What's the second? What's the third one?
Rises.
Batman Rises. The same one.
The Dark
Bane
Knight
snaps Batman's back.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same
thing.
move.
Yeah.
The exact same sound.
Yep.
Animation.
But it looks like terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like there's no fight or like life in the guys that he's checking around. But even better here, and I guess that's what Aaron was talking about, was he lays down in a fetal position and lets them kick him. Like 30 guys are kicking him, and he's just like holding them off with his arms. And then he just sees Letty, and he just goes, and he gets like Vin rage, and he jumps up and grabs 2 giant chains like Hercules and rips the entire ceiling down on them.
It's pretty cool. Just kidding, it wasn't.
And he goes into the water, and the entire roof falls on top of him, except when he hits the water, the roof is missing. Yeah. It's not there falling in anymore. He goes to the bottom drowning. Letty screams no. And then that's what we get. Vin has a little travel through his entire life and sees that he was wrong and he treated his brother bad.
Yeah, he has, it seems like he has flashbacks about things that he could not have possibly seen. Like, or he was supposedly there
or
with
maybe
his
things
father.
that he blocked out.
Yeah, I guess
You know,
so.
he blocked them out because he's so right all the time, and he doesn't ever look on the other side of things. Except that's what he talks about, his family all the time, and it's always about family. But in here, he's like, "Fuck family." It's the weirdest turnaround for a character.
Yeah.
Well, Letty saves him. He's alive, and they're not wet.
How does she get out of that vault? Because he literally turns.
It's not even men is wet.
No, not a
He
single
turns
drop.
the thing so she's stuck in there. So how
How
did she get
in
out
there?
to save him?
Well, she used her Letty rage.
Oh, that's the thing?
It is.
I
It
don't.
is a thing.
I don't even know how she got him. Where did they go? They were underwater somewhere in the silo.
And how
I don't
long
even know how
was-
she got out of there.
And like, how long was he under the water?
But the more impressive thing
who
is-
saved him. Like really, like CPR wise. Anybody?
True. How'd they get out of there? Because everything was crumbling
I
around.
wanna see
but
the
the
movie
rocks
where-
were coming on him. Like they were falling on him,
But they weren't
but
there.
not on him.
Yeah. And I want to see the movie where Letty's carrying Dom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just think about
Letty
it, guys.
the movie.
Letty the movie. Of her viewpoint of the
Yeah.
amnesia, hooking up with Deckard and all that. Oh, Shaw. I mean,
I would like to
anyways.
see that too.
Yeah, I don't even know what else to say here except that the group now has to go after Jacob more.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we double down, and this time they really want to use the magnets, and now they have a magnet war, where Jacob and the device, when they're gonna hook it up, and they have to they shoot. The villains actually have a rocket ship that they shoot up into space with a satellite on it, and they're gonna hook the Ares device together with that girl's help unlocking it. Not shoot her in the head after they do it; they just leave her alive. And then they have to wait for it to upload while they're in a mobile tank unit that's like three cars long.
Like why be mobile? Like like that makes zero sense because then it's like, oh, they know where you are, and it's like the big humongous vehicle.
Yeah,
that's
you
like
can't miss
driving
them.
through
you
like
can't miss them.
neighborhoods.
You know why though, right? Because they were like, it's Fast and Furious. We gotta do more car shit.
Yeah.
We can't have a gunfight in the end of this movie. We have to do car fights. So Ramsey's like, you know what? The only way to stop them is to go to outer space and knock out their satellite. And they're like, you know what? What are we going to do? What are we going to strap rockets to cars? And Dom's like, that's exactly what we're going to do.
So let's call the Three Stooges in to do that.
So they call the characters from the Tokyo Drift for no reason. They got introduced making rockets in this film to make a rocket ship car while they fly both Tej and Roman in this car on the back of their plane and shoot them up into space. Guys.
But not before Roman makes the best joke in the movie because Aaron and I were dying.
Well, which one?
What am I doing wearing this World War I scuba suit?
It was a suit.
They're wearing scuba suits. Someone calls them minions at one point.
Oh my god.
They're in fucking space. They
He's
went
like,
to space.
Todd's like, I have a hole. I gotta duct tape this real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's just because Justin Lin saw stuff on
memes.
the internet. Like, what are they gonna do next? Go to space?
Yeah, they're like,
And
what
he's
could they do
probably
next?
like, yup.
So that's two things. They said, we're going to make them realize that they're immortal and then also shoot them into space because
my
that's what
God.
people are making fun of. And they
cannot.
literally
I
did it.
cannot.
Although we all wanted them to race cars on the moon. I'm mad that we didn't get that, and I'm also mad we still not got Transformers in these films.
Oh my god, I love it! I love it. These two idiots just floating around up there.
Fly to space in a shitty car with a giant rocket.
It's a Pontiac. What is it, Pontiac Fiero or something?
Guys, he's using his steering wheel in space.
It's actually moving the steering wheel like he's guiding the.
Yes, like it's shooting the rocket, the propel out of each side every time he turns the wheel. Oh my god! And one of them's like, math always is right, and the other one's like, faith is the only way, and I gotta drive.
Oh my god, I can't.
It's so fucking stupid. It's so insane.
Not even to mention the timeline of this whole thing, because they already had the satellite set up on a rocket.
Yes.
So how quickly did they make this Pontiac Fiero a rocket?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why those Japanese. That's why those Japanese schools are so much superior. All 3 studies rocketry.
Oh man.
Well, apparently you're a rocket scientist this quick.
God.
Jesus Christ.
They can make
They
anyone
might do
a
that.
rocket
Nothing on me.
scientist.
Yeah.
Jesus
This is where
Christ.
Justin Lin gets my respect.
Well,
Thank you.
I don't think we should even thank Justin Lin, because I don't think Justin Lin even likes what happens here, because he walked off the set of the next movie, guys.
No
so,
way.
Yes. He wasn't even there, and some of the actors had to film their own scenes, so it's gonna be insane this week. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be
amazing.
Yes.
Charlize Theron
Oh my
and
God.
Michelle
and
Rodriguez
had to film their own fight scene, apparently,
They had to do it themselves without any direction.
Yep.
So it's gonna be
because
interesting.
Justin Lin hates Vin Diesel, and he walked off set.
Lots
so.
of people hate Vin Diesel.
Yeah, so
Lots of people.
that's what happened on the set of Fast 10. We'll see how that turns out this week. So, anyways, yeah, Justin Lin, I don't know. I don't want to give him the credit, because I think that he's even like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
No, he's getting a paycheck regardless of how
Yeah.
stupid it is.
Well, at the same time as these guys get shot in space, to knock out the satellite before it gets uploaded, they have to stop the upload.
Yeah.
So they have a double duty. So the guys on the ground all have to do this. And they have a magnet fight. And they use their cars to magnet everything. And there's magnets, and then more magnets. And then something else happens.
They have selectors, so they know what they can and cannot at any given time.
Yes, they can magnetically attach to.
Hey,
at
we're
one
gonna
point-
let's get the telephone poles this time,
Yeah.
or the electrical wires. Hey, maybe we'll get the cars this time, and
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
And because of
Washing machines at one point flying
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Stuff
All
from
the
a
washing
restaurant come flying out while people are standing there drinking their
and
coffee.
Yeah.
because
Jesus.
and because victory is right around the corner, here comes double cross.
Yeah, the double cross.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
so
double cross.
I don't even understand
Yeah.
what happens here. It's just that they basically, Cypher has teamed up with the benefactor, and they're gonna do something else. And then Jacob's like, "No, I'm not a part of that." So he turns on them, and then that's when, since he turns on them, Dom's like, "Hey, he's on our side now. We love him."
Yeah, we love him again.
Give him a car.
All
Give
he
him a car.
sees is he's battling one of the other villains.
Yeah, it's some famous person.
And then
We
he's
can talk
like-
about that. There's the big tall guy with the tattoos on his face.
Oh yeah. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But he's a famous guy in England.
And the first one to help him is Mia. And they're looking at each other's eyes. She pulls him up. She
Yeah.
pulls this 240-pound
He's
wrestler
holding, yes.
up.
She weighs all 10 pounds.
Well, no, she's holding on to him, and she looks at him. She goes, "Go!" And basically, he just starts climbing on the side of the car to get to the car that Han magnetized to the back of the car that they're on.
Yes.
So he can go off.
He
and,
can spider walk across the car.
Yes.
To get into the car to drive off.
Yes.
A sports car. He just
It's
slips
a
into.
beautiful orange sports car of some sort. Here's the best part, though. I mean, everybody's ragdoll physics, too. Everybody's just flying around and getting caught on cars or crushed or whatever. I think Han fights, he goes and saves the girl inside the truck and fights off a famous MMA fighter who he attaches to a parachute, and he blows him up. And
That was a good scene.
yeah, it was a good
John
scene.
Jones? Who was that?
No, Francis Ngannou.
And and then Han gets back out of the car with the girl and gets back in, but then they have to get back into the truck, which I don't know why they even got out of there before they didn't do everything they needed to do, because Ramsey had to get in there to hack the system. It's just fucking convoluted and bizarre, but the best part is they're not gonna make it. The guys in space haven't taken out the satellite. They're about to they get hit 100% upload, but that makes Tyrese drive into the satellite and destroy it. Should have killed them. They're fine.
Well, the windshield is cracked, but
It's actually
fine.
freezing. I don't even think it's cracked.
Is it? Is
Yeah,
it, is that
I think it's
ice?
just freezing, icing up.
Cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just cold. They
Yeah, but
just
then
need to get-
they get.
It's space.
They just need to get an ice scraper and they'll be fine.
Yeah,
be
I was
fine.
hoping he was going to get out and start scraping his windshield.
Yeah,
Oh my
all
God,
you
I
have
would
to do
die.
is
Well, they
like,
do at one point for whatever
they
reason.
learn
but okay.
that space is cold.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Well, they think that they're gonna die up there anyway, but then they get saved by.
Which is a good part, and you
Yeah.
know, I kind of want. That's what I wish these movies would do a little bit, is like actually let the characters go out like heroes. Yeah, he says like, let's go out on top, man. Like,
There's
let's
no
save the
consequences
world.
at all for these
Let's
characters.
do on top of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, let's just save the day. And then I think Tej, he's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And they crash through the satellite, they destroy it, but at the same time they destroy the upload, and they get the device, the orb, and they get out, but they're like, we're not going to be able to stop the bad guys. And that's the moment I think they're like, we're gonna die or we're gonna lose or something. And then that's when John Cena comes back and it's like, no, you're not alone. And so Dom and him crash into the front of a moving 3-car tank thing and somehow make it flip.
They
Yeah,
use
that
their
was
car
crazy.
and turn it into a live wedge.
they were using
Yes.
that. That's
But-
what they were doing.
Instead of lifting the part that they're running into, the back end of this
Massive 3-car
the
thing.
trailer,
lifts.
okay, that was I don't know how many feet, like 50 feet long,
Yeah, it was fairly
about
long.
50 feet. The back of it that they're not even touching starts rising up into the air, the sky,
Yeah.
to the point where it's exactly 180 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 90
90,
degrees,
yeah,
whatever,
right.
90 degrees. And it's like, wait a minute, if you hit the front of something,
Yeah.
the front of it will bounce up, not the back of it.
Yes.
So they do that
But
enough.
even better, though.
This is the shit that keeps you up at night.
This
not
is-
that the fact that Tyrese
This-
and Tej are in space.
This is even crazier.
can't
The whole time I thought about this, I'm like, are they using the magnets to do this?
I thought so too.
I thought that at one point, and I was like, well, there's no possible way that could happen. I'm like, did they just endo this 3-tiered car
Yeah.
with their car? So now it's up on its nose, like straight up in the air.
What even better is that
And it's
Jacob,
still driving.
yes, somehow still moving.
I'm baffled by
Jacob,
it,
though-
but that's
Yeah.
what's bothering them.
Guys,
Just- yeah.
Jacob puts his car in front of the car to make it flip.
Yeah.
And he's able to jump onto. He does the dolphin
Like
head
this
punch
dolphin, like little flipper
in
thing.
the air on top of Dom's car and get away as an entire 3-car train falls at them.
And honestly, it was done seamlessly. It felt like I was watching a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Like it's a real. We've
It's a cartoon.
made it. It's a real life cartoon.
It's-
scene happening.
It's mind blowing, but this doesn't end here. That's what's crazier
No, it
about
has
this.
to end.
It doesn't, because this train car starts going on a downward spiral from a cliff out of a city, and Dom gets in it.
Yeah,
And
that's,
fights the-
I don't understand that
And
scene.
then-
If
and
someone
then-
can
And
explain to me.
Cypher.
Cypher comes, shoots a
like
stealth
a-
bomber at them,
Yeah, and it was just very.
and
odd.
Dom manages to shift the falling 3-car truck thing into the fucking stealth bomber and hit it and seemingly kill Cypher.
Yeah,
But we find out
think
that Cypher is
but it
just
was a
working a
drone.
drone.
Yeah, she's working a drone.
Because,
in a
But
warehouse.
yeah, no.
can we talk about how Dom just floats out of the window
Yep.
of the car?
He just
Yeah.
rolls out.
And it's on fire. It's ablaze.
It's ablaze.
And he just floats
He's
out.
good.
Just
He's
gets
fine.
out.
He's fine. He's Just fine. Not even covered in a scratch or anything.
And that makes Jacob stop up and give him his car. And then he says, hey, I'll give you someone gave me a 10-second car. Take a 10-second car and get a new life. And he lets Jacob leave.
Mm-hmm.
Family. Yep. And
picnic time.
Picnic time.
Yep.
They always end in a picnic.
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody's there, though. Everybody. Even the Tokyo Drift guys.
Mm-hmm.
Although they weren't in America.
Nope.
They're all there in America now, making a barbecue. Even Santos, or whatever the hell that guy's name is, he's barbecuing terribly, by the way. He seems to be burning stuff that's not cooking.
Yeah.
Does anybody know where Mr. Nobody is? Nobody
No.
gives a
Nobody's
shit.
even asking.
Yep.
Yeah.
They all are at the barbecue. They're rebuilding the house that blew up in the previous movie. They decided to finally move into it from the woods that they were living in. They were living in a farm.
Yeah, I'd rather
Now
be
they're
living
living
on
at the
farm.
they're now at the tuna shop house.
Yeah.
They're rebuilding it from the
Why?
explosion.
Because it's just like reminiscent, nostalgic of the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah,
Why are you wasting this time?
They have this time the picnic table is now like 50 chairs. Everybody is at this picnic.
Yeah.
Twink, everybody's here.
Well, Helen Mirren, Queenie, she doesn't.
She doesn't show up. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, she showed up wearing that diamond necklace she stole.
Mm-hmm. It
And
was
it's-
a nice necklace.
It's time for Brian Jr. And also John Cena is not at this picnic though.
No.
But all the good guys are all there. Han, this new girl, Ramsey, Taj, everybody's there. And because they just came back from space.
Oh
And
yeah,
Tyrese
yeah.
is very hungry. He's been eating
He's-
Tootsie Rolls for a long
what
time.
is he?
Yeah.
What is he?
Hungry.
He
Hungry.
says, I'm hungry.
Hungry. His
And-
forehead was hungry.
And Brian Jr., it's time for Brian Jr. to say grace. But we have to wait because Brian is missing. And Brian's car speeds up.
Mm-hmm.
Finn.
Family. And then we get a nice little cutscene for no particular reason, I guess justice for Han, where we see Jason Statham's Shaw beating up a guy in a punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
We
know
don't know
what
who the
this
guy
means.
is.
or-
I don't know who the guy
I don't know
is.
what this is.
I thought it was the agent at first, the FBI, the DEA or
What are you
whatever.
talking about?
Oh, Shea Wiggum,
Shea
who
Wiggum
shows
showed
up for
up again.
13
I
seconds.
forgot with the
Because he
broken
had the
nose.
scar on it, I thought it was him in there, and I'm like, what's going on?
That would poor Shea Wiggum, man.
I
Oh,
mean, what a
shit.
travesty.
Yeah.
He literally has 13 seconds in this movie for no reason.
It's odd. It turns out he's the one that flew them to the other country we were
Oh.
asking about. I forgot about that.
Okay.
But yeah, Jason Statham's punching a guy in a punching bag, and then there's a knock on a door, and it's Han, and Shaw's shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end. I guess this is the justice for Han. In the theater, I said, fuck no. If they kill Shaw, if Han kills Shaw, fuck that movie. Fuck Han. I'm pissed because Shaw's one of the best characters in this whole series. So
Yeah, I hate Han. I think he's pointless. He doesn't do anything, and
it's a bizarre thing.
Could
They
you imagine
take
the
out
fans want Han over Shaw?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff people love. This. All right, let's go around the room and that was the plot. I think I did a good enough job. Am I right?
We did it.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it.
I know I skipped a lot, but it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
So let's go around the room and talk our final thoughts on the 9 films that we've sat through and this movie's review. Aaron, start it off. Give us a little bit of conversation here.
You know what? The blow up scenes were pretty cool. That was
In the whole series or just this movie?
and you know what? The rocket just lifted this movie to new heights.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, see, her husband's not
Your
here.
husband's not
so
here,
she
but he's in
has to
spirit.
Give us the stank. Oh my god, I love
Yeah. I give it a 4. I give this movie a 4. It was, it was fun. I was laughing.
Do you think this is the worst?
Yeah, actually, this was probably the worst because I think I don't remember what I gave.
I don't think you
one.
give anything lower than this.
No, I gave like 5.
You gave 1 of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 1 was a 5, and then there was another one which I think
It was like 6 or...
6 I did not like. I don't know. I thought it was just boring.
Yeah.
Which everybody's like, but it's not that boring. But I guess, well, yeah. It was just a bad day, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this one's a 4.
Oh, you give the first movie a 4.
I gave the first movie a 4. Okay, then this one's a 3. Come on.
Wow.
Because the first one was way better than this.
You also gave Fast 6 a 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
It's all coming back to you now?
Yeah, I.
She's like, oh yeah. That sucked too.
But like, dang. Like, I don't know.
So you going with a 4 or are you going lower?
No, it's still a 4. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Jill? What you got?
God, this one I couldn't. I mean, it was so ridiculous, and they just didn't care. They just didn't care at all. It was there was no quality in this. There was no, you know, I didn't even feel the heart in this time. You know, part 7 is my favorite. It's my favorite one.
I think it's all because there's a big reason I think that movie's so beloved.
I know why, and but I thought it was 7 was fun. I thought it was a good movie, a good time. This one, it just made me mad. It was like, okay, you guys really do cater to stupid people. You really do. Like, honestly, really? I mean, it was just, come on. I like the action. I like the, the silliness to an extent. But
the cons
these
are
two
hair.
idiots, are in space, floating around like fools.
You know you laughed your ass off harder than anything else.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just couldn't believe it. Like, there's Over the Top, and then there's this movie. I'm like, whatever. Fuck this movie. This movie's a 3. I did not like it. And the only thing I gave less than this is Tokyo Drift, because I hated that one, so I gave that one a 2. But this movie's just terrible.
So
man.
do you think Tokyo Drift's worse than this movie?
Tokyo Drift is worse than this. I don't like Tokyo Drift at all.
Dang, Tokyo
And
Drift
I
is
hate Han, so fuck Han.
Wow.
Okay?
Oh.
Fuck Han. I think he's a worthless character. There's nothing for Han to do in these movies, and this campaign is trash.
You just lost all of your subscribers right
What,
there.
my whole 2 subscribers? I don't care. I'm just saying, you know what? I don't care. This is my opinion. I think that Han sucks.
My phone just automatically unsubscribed.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. This is my opinion, and I don't think that Han is a good character. I think he doesn't do a damn thing, and I feel the same about Ramsey. There's no point.
Well, after hearing that, I appreciate anybody who's listening out there. Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate you guys too. I'm just
and
saying.
don't leave because this one over here doesn't like hair and.
You know what? I don't need Charlize's bad hairdo. Okay,
Oh, God,
it
it's
just
awful.
dampened my day. Dampened it.
You know what? I'm gonna call our friend who's gonna make you a shirt. I'm going to shirt of just her hair.
Oh, God. No.
I'm gonna have Team Cypher.
Whatever. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm just saying. I just don't. I
All
don't
right.
like Han. Anyway,
Gary?
that's the way I feel.
What Joe just stated. I've been saying for how many movies this movie was designed for dumb people? How many movies have I been saying?
Jeez.
I mean, I can't argue with you on this, but yeah, go
But
ahead.
you argued with me. You said
No, I'm. Never mind. I'll
And-
talk to you later about what I was talking about with you.
And with this movie, the director basically stated, "What if we come clean and let's break the fourth wall just a little bit? That we know it's over the top and we're having fun with you." No,
Yeah,
not for 8 movies or
you don't do this 9 movies in. Yeah,
9 movies in. You're like, oh, by the way, we're on the ride with you. We know.
yeah. We know how stupid this
We're
is.
never trying to insult your intelligence. No, you've been doing it for a long, long time.
Agreed.
And we saw the absence of The Rock.
Felt it,
And
We
yeah.
can talk about it.
And
Yeah.
you can add more characters, add Han, you could add 8 more people.
Yep.
One man, one actor
And I would say
with a
Shaw,
big
too.
personality in this movie, and you can't. I mean, after Brian's character,
Mm-hmm.
and
There's another one.
he was getting faded a little bit, whatever. But he was the heart of the movie, and now The Rock had that role where you like a guy who's a good guy who naturally seems like that's how he is.
Yes.
Where Dom doesn't seem naturally like a father, The Rock does. Look at the scenes and back and forth.
Yeah.
This movie makes, I was gonna say, didn't care for A too much. I think I gave that a 4.
I'm
Last
not sure.
week? Or I think I gave it a 5.
Yeah, I think you gave it a 5.
Oh, that was my stomach. Yeah, you gave it a 4.
Gave it a 4. it makes 8 look like a masterpiece.
I kind of agree with you.
Wow.
Yep. I was
Like,
trying to talk
honestly,
about that
if
last
I
week.
had looked at both, I would have been like, if I only saw these two, and these only, I would have been like, that movie was an 8, and this was like a 1. You know, based on that. Based on how it was just throwing everything out there. Hey, we're gonna break the fourth wall, and now we're going to use magnets, and now we're gonna use the same plot from the last 2 movies and increase it over and over and over again till because our audience has no idea what's going on. But you know what? They might know a little bit. Some of them might. So we're gonna bring him in to be the smarts. If you don't get it,
Yeah.
you don't get our humor, you just don't get the film. So this one, I'm gonna give a 2 for this one.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn. All right. That leaves you, my friend.
Well, so I can say this is the worst one.
I think so too.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think this is nothing but fan service to me. It just seems like it's just again, if you're putting stuff in there because the internet said to do it, it's like, I mean, what are we doing? Did we really have actual writers writing this one
It doesn't feel like it.
at all?
Yeah.
And I can't give. I mean, I would definitely rewatch 3 over this one.
I agree. And when
Jesus.
Joe's saying she doesn't like Tokyo Drift, like that's worse. Fuck, I would watch that so many more times.
Yeah, we've seen so many more movies that were almost worse than this, but
Yeah.
we had so much fun watching it. It elevates it better than this one.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't give it any more than a 3.
Yeah.
I would have to at least go with 3. I mean, there's some fun parts to it, but I think just that the fun of some of those scenes is what I kind of agree with Gary's too as well. So,
Yeah.
But I would have to give it a 3. It's definitely the worst one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I look, I did not hate Tokyo Drift. I didn't hate it. I mean, I've seen worse movies. It's not great, but I actually think 1 is worse than Tokyo Drift. I don't like 1 at all. I did not have fun watching it. I didn't really care about the characters.
When I
It
saw that
grew
for
on
the
me.
first time before, I had that at 3, and I had Drift at 5 because 1, it just doesn't hold up anymore. And that's the only thing with it. It's like
With
it's
time, yeah.
It blows
with
my
the
mind
time,
that
it
we-
just does not hold up.
Yeah.
The other one's a lot better, and you can turn on now and do whatever you want with
It
it.
shocks me from 1 to it made it. Like that first movie, watching it again, or for the first time or whatever, to see that this is where it's come. 9 movies spawned, or like 8 movies spawned off of that movie, is mind blowing because that movie is nothing like the rest of the series. The same thing with 2 and 3. Really, they're just really subtle movies. Now it's just some kind of weird spectacle that it makes me feel like the dumbest fuck on the earth for sitting there and like watching it, even trying to remotely understand it.
And in Tokyo Drift, the characters were not invincible, just only when they were in that car. When they were
Yeah.
driving, that's when they got the power, or they felt it. And when they get out, they were just regular people.
Yeah.
If they weren't in the
Simple
vehicle.
plot, well, it's not. But this, man, this goes out of its way. I think the most important thing to talk about is how much you feel the missing of Hobbs and Shaw. Like how you really feel, oh, now we had so much of them in 8, and you're like, oh, those parts are actually great.
That's what I think
in
is happening here.
comparison.
That's what I
Yeah.
think is happening is that we're kind of feeling the pain, the sting
You
of
really feel it.
not having them in this movie.
And you perfectly said you could replace him with 8 people, and it still does not justify the charisma that The Rock brings to
Dwayne
the
Johnson,
role.
you don't want to be in this movie. We are going to up the ante with explosions and magnets times 50.
Yeah.
And people won't even
Space.
remember you were not in
Space.
here.
Space.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we definitely feel that the Rock's absence. We definitely we need.
What's really interesting to me is, Joe, with the whole discussion about how much you've given Vin the love. Because I feel like, and I've been saying this from the beginning, he to me is the worst part of the entire series. He brings every scene down for me.
That's true. I have been feeling it now that we're on 9. I do feel that. I mean, I love the scenes with Roman and Tej.
They're highlights, yeah.
But The Rock really did heightened this entire thing for me, which actually had me almost elated to watch it. You know, I was like, oh God, I can't wait.
You know what's really interesting about this Vin Diesel conversation is watch how much joy he has on his face when he's with Helen Mirren.
Yes.
It's like he's a whole nother actor because he does not have that bond with the other characters to me. Every time he's with the other characters, he always feels like he's walking in as the boss. But with her, it feels like he's having fun because she's the boss.
Yeah,
Let's face
I get
facts.
that. I can feel
I
that.
will give this series one thing. The female characters have come a long way. They used
true.
to be just, like you guys said, road hose and the booty thing.
Background
They're
characters.
background characters.
Yeah.
And now they've come full circle and they're like the main characters. They are really important to the roles. They keep putting in more strong female characters. I'll give that credit, but this movie is a ball of shit.
This movie is definitely a ball of shit.
In 2021, when I saw this movie, I said this is the worst movie of the year. Like without, I saw it, I was like, this is terrible. Especially where 7 was so much fun, and even 8, there's things in 8 where, like we said with Hobbs and Shaw, just being in there. Even Kurt Russell, we were like, there's some fun shit to be had here. And when we saw this in the theater, I was like, this is insulting.
It is.
And Vin Diesel, his response, one word, or 2 words, sorry, Han trilogy.
Oh my God. I'm out on that shit, man.
What's wild here, right?
Man.
So everybody's like hoping that X is the end. But the problem is now he's like, I think we're going to make 3. This guy.
Because it's a cash cow.
Of
He's
course.
laughing all the way to the fucking bank.
Of course.
I mean, he's probably making more money than any of the actors in this movie.
Now, I got to ask one question before we go, because the next episode we're going to do is going to be on 10.
Yep.
We're going to put it out next Tuesday. And my question to you guys is, will they finally say that they killed Brian off? Will
How are they
Brian
gonna
be
do
killed
that?
off in the
I don't
sign?
because
I don't think so.
They gave him
Yeah.
a beautiful send off in 7.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they made
That
it,
was for the actor.
they
The
still
character is still being
Yeah.
referenced like he's alive.
they can't do that.
They can't.
They will enrage people. They just can't.
You don't think they're going to finally do it?
No.
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 If they do, like, everybody's
The-
going to be.
The trilogy, if they actually want to do some excellent writing, the trilogy is Brian, someone does something to Brian, and that's the only reason why you'd have need 3 movies. Ultimate vengeance movies to end it.
Yeah, the villain in the next one seems to, he goes for a family. And I'm like, there's only one person you could kill to make you be a bad, like the villain of all villains. But the problem is, if an actor is the one that has to kill Brian, people are going to hate that actor in real life. Like, they're going to fucking hate him.
They really are.
I don't know if you guys know who the villain in the next one is,
No.
but, what actor is playing him?
No. I
So
mean,
it's-
you all
you-
tell
you-
me not to look at the poster,
you're gonna have-
the trailer.
you're gonna have to,
It's like I'm going in blind.
It's Aquaman. It's Jason Momoa.
Oh, Jason
And you have
Momoa.
both of them were in
Cool.
Game of Thrones at the same time.
Who?
Ramses and
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, but though, I gotta tell you, after this one, I'm so drained from this franchise.
They weren't in it together. She was, he died, and then she was in
okay,
later.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm like so drained from this franchise after 9
Yeah,
now that the only thing that I'm like just looking forward to the insanity and ridiculousness that Jason Momoa will bring to this, because he's
And
going
I'm
to
the
be
opposite.
the focus.
I'm the
He's
opposite.
not. Dom's not going to be the focus. It's going to be Jason Momoa.
I'm there to see everybody else.
I can't see Jason Momoa playing a mastermind.
No, he's not a mastermind. He's a mimbo. Wow.
That's
He's a mimbo in this. He's
After all the roles he's played,
So I don't know if we're gonna watch the trailer. I don't know if we're gonna. You can't be there. But I didn't know if we were gonna get together beforehand and watch the trailer before we go see the movie, because
Do it.
I was thinking to myself, what the like we already know from the trailer, the ones I've seen it, what the plot is.
I've
and
watched the
it's
trailer
just-
6 times.
Oh,
well, I feel I can watch the trailer now. Now that I've seen 9.
yeah. It's just
Spoilers.
when you find out who, and everybody's in it. Everybody's back except The Rock.
Wow.
So I don't know.
I mean, I'm excited because at this point, I'm so numb to all of this silliness that I'm just like, you know what, just bring it on. Let's end it right now with this. And I know it's not going to end, but I still feel like this is going to be zany and ridiculous, and I'm going in with no brain cells.
What Fast and Furious, or what? There's 18 behind the Godzilla movies, franchise films.
Godzilla's a lot, yeah.
Like 28 or something.
It was like maybe more now, yeah.
Huh?
Why?
They can keep going.
Jesus. All right.
James Bond level?
Everybody needs to get out. I got to go to bed.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And please don't be mad at me for my Han talk. I just don't like Han. I'm sorry, guys.
It's on that list, Joe. It's on the list of
Yeah.
things that you've shit on that people love.
You know what? Please subscribe.
Yeah.
We love our listeners.
Didn't you see
Please
Han
don't
with that
leave.
sniper rifle?
Oh my. Yeah.
You know, shut up, Gary.
He had a bag of chips with him,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, was he eating chips? Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
All right, thanks for listening.
Justice for Han.
Well, that was new.